Crypto Kids, welcome back to another stream today. The price of Bitcoin is falling pretty heavily on the daily candle. So obviously we uploaded a video not too long ago, about 3-4 hours ago, talking about a very concerning 4-hourly time frame pattern, which if we were to have seen a drop to the downside, it would be very, very catastrophic. And I'll show you exactly that video that we posted 4 hours ago, warning you of why things were looking quote unquote very bad and why we would likely see a drop to the downside. So this was the pattern. It's called a bearish megaphone pattern. It's like a bear flag. It's just instead of seeing a parallel consolidation, you consolidate in the manner of a megaphone. And as soon as you see a break to the downside, when you get that confirmation on the 1 hourly candle I mentioned, 2 1 hourly candles would be sufficient. You got the retest too. That's double horrible, because when you get the retest of the prior line of support, that confirms the pattern as a whole. So if we just redraw it to recreate the pattern, look, you close below it for those 2 hourly candles straight. You saw the retest, and that's it. Like, that's it, gone, and it's perfectly textbook, like we've showed it to you, like I've shown it to you on the channel. So if I find the textbook pattern, let's see. Where did I put the textbook? It should be here somewhere. There it is. When you get the retest to that prior line of support, look right there. If we zoom in, right there, if you look right there, as soon as you see that retest to prior support making it resistance, down goes that asset. So keep this pattern. If you missed out on this video from 4 hours ago, well, first of all, to not miss out again, make sure to destroy the like button so that the YouTube algorithm keeps on recommending you these videos. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, but just keep this pattern in the back of your mind. When you see something like this, it is not good for an asset. It causes price to drop to the downside. That's Bitcoin on the shorter time frame. What does it mean for the more macro? On the more macro, there was one specific thing that I was paying attention to, and really it was just one thing and one thing only, apart from the bull and bear market support band indicator. This famous line, the $12,000 / $11,900 line, the line that created a new all-time high back in May of 2025, created resistance. As soon as you got over that resistance, you went to astronomical levels, even reaching 120K. Eventually, you see a drop back down to this 11.9 to then go ahead and create brand new all-time highs. You go below it, following supports on the final week of August, inverse head and shoulder, you pump above it, you come back down to it, try to find some support, bearish megaphone pattern, and down you go. Currently on the daily time frame, we're much lower than that specific level that we were having to watch out for. And I mentioned that if we do close below that level on the daily, things are going to get bad, and we're going to very likely head to the 108 to 107.5 level, which is exactly what Bitcoin has done. So, look, I know that prices are looking bad, but congrats if you've been following the channel over the past few days, because we've been predicting this to have happened on the chart. So congrats if you were able to follow along and position yourself based off of your own conclusions, obviously. But I've been saying that it's very likely that we come down to this 108 to 107.5 territory. Now, Bitcoin at 108.9. The good news is that this level is just like the 11.9. It's also pretty important. If we draw a horizontal line at this level, you're going to notice that you see many wicks coming to it all the way back in December of 2024. You see points of resistance and support back in July of this year, support here before you fell down in June. It's important too. It's very, very important. I would say the 108 line, and it can be considered as a range. Just to be more conservative, I'll give you a specific range and not just one line. Let's go. Do we have the range? There it is. If we go like this, I think this is more fair to put. This is the range that you want to be looking out for. And you guys know I like to keep my analysis simple. I don't like to go crazy. I think the simpler you keep it, the more effective it becomes. When you have a look here, I think there's a very good chance that we're going to try and get to, I don't want to say the bottom of the range, but I just think 107.5, even 106.8 is quite likely for Bitcoin. If you've been following with the trading bots I've been placing trading bots to buy Bitcoin all the way down to this 107.5 territory. And my trading bots over on Pinex, which you can sign up to Pinex using the second link in the description down below, they have been buying consistently over this drop. They've been buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip automatically. And as soon as we can see hopefully a price reversal from here, then obviously those Pinex bots that have been buying the dip are going to become profitable. Will we see a reversal though? Well, I have to say, I think this is a pretty important support range. If you fall below this blue box, then things become concerning, because as soon as you fall below potentially that blue box, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I actually think at this moment it's quite unlikely. Let's see how the TA evolves. We want to see the reaction of the charts as soon as you go into the 108s, the lower 108s. I wouldn't be shorting here. I think it's a bit too late for that. I would have considered doing that maybe on the video we posted 4 hours ago. But depending on the reaction we get at 108, we're going to have a more definitive answer on if we see a further drop. A further drop would be cataclysmic, and it will lead to pandemonium. Why? Because then you're going to have a lower low. You're going to have a lower low. When you zoom in, a lower low puts you into obviously a bearish trend, and you don't want to do that right now. This is not a bearish trend. If you can see a reversal back here, actually this will look very nicely as a double bottom, canceling out the effects of the double top we had 2 months back. That would be pretty nice. If you see a drop below this blue box, then my friends, you go into lower low territories, and that's concerning for the overall macro trend. I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want this blue box to break below. You know, at 104 you have a little bit of support. If you can come down, maybe there's some sort of bullish divergence on the RSI. It's just too far of a speculation to really call exactly what can happen at that point. I would be considering to look very closely at the levels that we are now and just make sure that you're well positioned and well risk managed. When I go to my Bitcoin positions, the Bitcoin positions we've been opening on this channel, they have been primarily accumulated between $77,000 to $87,500. So I'm really not at risk there. And I'm not going to be closing these positions entirely unless we consider going into new lower lows and exiting that blue box. As soon as I decide if I want to do that or not, I will be updating you guys on this channel. So make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you destroy the like button. I'm going to give love to the chats in a minute, so don't worry. I will be getting to the chats. I will be looking at your comments. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that what you guys are saying. So make sure to destroy the like button. If you have any questions, this is the time to let me know. I will go through them in a second. That's the positionings for Bitcoin. No risk for me at this moment in time for my Bitcoin positionings. Ethereum is where it gets interesting, because Ethereum, if you remember this morning on the Telegram community, let me see if I can bring that up. In the Telegram community, over the past 3-4 videos, I've been saying that Ethereum looks quite weak. I'm really not happy with how Ethereum looks. I'm going to try and bring up the Telegram channel, which you can also join for free. It's just a place where when I can't make a video in that specific moment in time, I go to my Telegram and give you updates. So there's a lot of essentially updates that you won't get on YouTube, or updates that you will get before YouTube here on this Telegram community. Sometimes I even leave voice notes if you want to join. Link down below. The channel name is @CryptoKids on Telegram, which you can find and join for free. This morning I posted, as I mentioned yesterday and the day before, Ethereum looks weak. 3.9 should provide us with good support. 350 would be my worst case price target before an eventual upwards continuation to new all-time highs. This was when Ethereum was trading at about 4.1 early this morning. I really didn't like the fact that we created a triple top. Like, it was just horrendous to me. I really, really didn't like this. I didn't like the bear flag that we created on shorter time frames that I also covered on the video I made 4 hours ago. So that was exactly this one. This type of price action you usually notice in weekends when there is low volatility like this. It typically happens during weekends. It doesn't really happen in times of intraday trading within a week. So I said, expect Ethereum to see a drop here and 3.9 to be the solid target as your first sort of movement. And now we've hit that. I've had a limit order open. So I had a limit order open on Ethereum at 3.9 just to add to my overall DCA positionings that here I've been opening since 1.5, 1.6, 2.2, 3,000, 3.2K. I just wanted to go in and really DCA into those positions one more time. And I thought that 3.9 would be a good level just due to the tremendous amount of support you're seeing from 3.9. And to be honest with you, I think price will try to remain above 3.9 if you want to be trading on weeks like I'm doing so. You can go to the link in the description down below for weeks and get massive bonuses when you sign up with that link particularly. I'll also pin that in the chat for anybody interested in trading. Weeks has been fantastic for me. I'm very, very happy with the Weeks exchange. And if you want to trade, you can sign up to Weeks with that link specifically to also support the channel. 3.9, I think the price action is going to try and hold it. But if I'm being completely honest with you, this chart to me says that Ethereum is going to retrace potentially all the way to 3,350. On Pionex, I have a bot that's going to consistently buy if Ethereum does end up deciding to do that. And I know what you're thinking. If Ethereum does fall to 3,350, doesn't that create a greater head and shoulders pattern? And it opens the door to potentially doing that. I understand. I know what you're saying. It's just from a cycle perspective, I still expect us to run to $8,000, and it would just be very strange if we began the bear market before the bull market even began. So my play is I'm still accumulating, I'm still long, and I'm still expecting over the next 2-3 months, maybe 4 months, for Ethereum to go towards 8K. And I just see the price action right now as a tremendous buying opportunity. Remember, when you go to Google search trends, nobody cares about cryptocurrency. Nobody cares about Bitcoin at this moment in time. If you go to Google search trends and you go and put Bitcoin as your search term, Bitcoin cryptocurrency, and you go and explore that search term on Google, go worldwide, go to past 5 years, you're going to notice that nobody cares about crypto right now. In August, they cared. In August, they cared because of Ethereum. I don't think they cared because of Bitcoin. They cared because of Ethereum. Ethereum was going to new all-time highs. So all of a sudden, Bitcoin, crypto, all of these things sounded interesting. So in August, they cared. Back in November, December, they cared when we had the whole Trump meme coin mania price breaking out. But now they don't care. They didn't care during the 7-month consolidation period that Bitcoin also had. And we're at those same levels. We're at those same levels in a bull market expecting a bullish Q4. That just means that, in my opinion, this is a good time to be buying the dip. That's how I see this current price action as. I'm buying. I know altcoins are suffering. For Solana, I want to go into Solana quickly. Solana is at very important support. So for any Solana holders, I would be quite careful here because I spoke about this on the show, the Moon Show, earlier on today. If Solana breaks below this line of support on the daily time frame, I think it's very easy to expect, first of all, 156, then 129, and if that doesn't hold, $100. I opened a bot on Pionex actually to buy the dip from you all the way potentially to worst case $70. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but worst case scenario, that's how you do those bots. But when you zoom out to the macro, I still think that the huge inverse head and shoulders, or the cup and handle actually, is immensely bullish, and I still expect $500 for Solana. It's just short term. It's concerning. So if you have any Solana positions, be careful. I'm actually going to check on weeks if I have any Solana positions at this moment in time. I do, and it is still profitable. See, I'm going to keep this because it's well positioned, but if I had a massive Solana position, I would really be careful here. If that line of support is lost, I said this on the Moon Show channel when Solana was over $200 still. I said if this line is lost, then you would definitely be expecting, in my opinion, lower price levels. So be careful to any holders of Solana. That's the level that you want to be watching. A coin that, on the contrary, I'm actually accumulating. As soon as I finish this stream, I'm going to go to my personal account and I'm actually going to go and buy SUI. So this is the SUI chart. SUI, one of the best layer ones in my opinion. I also shared this chart and I said I would do this on my Telegram community, which I can show you very quickly again. So this was like an hour or two ago. I mentioned that the 3.9K target for Ethereum is hit. I would recommend watching my latest video for insights into what I think will happen next. By the way, we'll start accumulating SUI very soon at the retest. The retest has happened. And I'm going to live up to my word. I'm going to go and in my personal spot trading account, the portfolio I have for my altcoins for altcoin season, I'm going to go ahead and accumulate SUI. I like this level. If you lose this support, then you would be looking for $2.4. So in terms of leverage trading, I'm staying away. But if you can maintain that support, then you keep a bull flag structure and create very good chances of bouncing to the upside. But be very careful. If you have any SUI positions, just like Solana, if this line of support is lost, I think it's a good place to be buying spot derivatives. I would be careful because if that line of support is lost, then you would be looking at $2.4 as a place of correction. I like to buy supports. That's why I'm buying here, and I like SUI in general. So this isn't something that I'm just trying to buy and then flip. This is something that I'm looking to hold long term. That's why I'm buying here. But if you're looking to do massive derivatives trading on SUI, in terms of a long position, I would be careful. I would just see the reaction of the next 1 or 2 daily candles before jumping in massively, if that was your intention to do so. Okay, so that's so far what I think of the market. I'll quickly check the chat section to see what you guys are up to and what your thoughts are. All right. So be prepared. We could go lower. I agree. Crypto Knights, good opportunities at these levels, says Jay Tuttle. I agree. I've been accumulating SUI in 3.35. Thought it's a good support lol. You know what? If you have a long-term mindset, I really like SUI. I really like the guys behind SUI. They're a fantastic team. I know them personally. Like I'm just very bullish in their vision. I'm very bullish on the team. I like investing in a team. I like the team, and I'm keeping on to my SUI for the long term. I'm not planning on selling. Man, I swear these prices you're calling for are bear market prices. No, they're not. How is $107,000 Bitcoin bear market pricing? I don't think so. Altcoin season will happen. Altcoin season will happen. Don't worry. That's gonna happen soon. It's just September as always. People forget September is always the worst month for Bitcoin, period. Let's have a look. Bitcoin monthly price performance. Bitcoin monthly price performance. Historical returns. Look, if you go to the month of September, your average return is negative. No other month in the year has an average return of negative for Bitcoin. It's only September. And actually, you're still up 3% respectively in September. Can you believe that? You're still up 3%. It's just that we started September at the 107 level anyways, the bull and bear market support band. So we're still up on September. Be careful for what October and November have in store though, because those 2 months are always giga bullish. If you're not having a giga bullish Pumptober or Moonveber, at least one of them is going to be bullish when you look at post halving year. Look, 2021, Pumptober, you went up by 39%. All right. You go to the previous cycle, 2017, Pumptober, you go up by 47.8%. And then Moonveber, you go up by an additional 53%. Those are all post halving year returns. And I'm expecting, it's not maybe a 50% increase, I'm still expecting a pretty solid Pumptober and Moonveber. I wouldn't fade those 2 months. I wouldn't fade those 2 months at all. And it's completely understandable if September is bearish. It's just what happens. It's the only month in Bitcoin's history where you have a negative return. No other month has an average of a negative return for Bitcoin. Where is retail? Well, retail isn't here yet. October coming. This is not bear market, guys. This is not bear market. PENGU. Look, I actually had some pretty good expectations for PENGU. Sadly, those expectations are slowly drifting away. If I put up the PENGU chart, look, I really think that this is a good cup and handle, and I'm keeping my Pinex spot. I'm not exiting it, but we have to hold support here. If we don't, then it jeopardizes this massively bullish structure. That's the issue. But I'm still holding on to my bot. I'm still confident. It's a gamble. I said it was a gamble. How can I join the Telegram community? Oh, it's just linked in the description. It's free, by the way. There's no charge to it. So if you just go to the description, I'll even pin it in the chat in a second. There's this link here, join the Crypto Kids community. I'll pin it for anybody interested. So if you just click that link, it's free to join. And we also have a community chat. So I read the messages most of the time. So if you have any questions, you can go to the community chat and I tend to answer them. Can you read your thoughts on liquidations, kid? My thoughts on liquidations? I don't have thoughts on liquidations. I try to avoid liquidations as much as possible. That's my thoughts. Almost all cryptos are on critical support. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, look, it's not altcoin season. It's not altcoin season. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gone up by 8x since the bottom of the bear market. Solana has went from $8 to $250 in this cycle alone. You know? So things have been performing well. XRP, I hate to give an example of XRP, but from $0.5 all the way to $3, all of these things happened in this cycle. This is just not banana season yet. Banana season is when everything goes up. We're not at that part of the cycle yet. Some altcoins have made new lows. Okay, I understand, but those altcoins that are making new lows, those are the altcoins that also have massive amounts of inflation into their circulating supply. So many altcoins, if you go to their 2021 circulating supply, some of them have double the circulating supply of 2021. And actually, Solana is an example, but even though that's the case, it's still at $200, which is very impressive. You should change your name to Crypto King. Thanks, man. Don't trip by the dip, by the dip. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree, Kryptonite. I agree. XRP and Solana are the most likely opportunity to get ETF soon. Well, Solana already has an ETF. AVAX is getting very good ETFs. XRP is, I agree, interesting because that has a potential of getting a big issuer like a BlackRock. I've seen this plasma thing. I have no idea what it is. I just know that it's down on the day. It's down 17%. Is it a new? I think it's a new coin that launched, but I have no idea what it is. Plasma is XRP killer. I don't know. How can we get a banana season from what is a classic bear market? But this is not a bear market. This is what I don't understand. Like, how are we in a bear market? What do I think of DOT? Well, I used to like DOT. I think there was a lot of hype about the parachains in the previous cycle, but they just weren't able to develop anything. Like, do you use any product within crypto that's built on Polkadot? Because I don't know anybody that does. And it's upsetting because I was quite bullish on Polkadot, but I don't see any development there. What do you think of Doge? Well, I think that Doge has a proof of concept that it has the potential of being very successful in this cycle. Don't go to the previous cycle, go to this cycle. In November, the price of Dogecoin hit 50 cents. This was post-President Trump's election. The pump we saw in Bitcoin, that's post that. In this cycle alone, not the previous cycle, in this cycle, the price of Dogecoin went to 48 cents. That's in the mini altcoin season that we experienced when Bitcoin dominance fell to 55%. So I think that I really think that a dollar Dogecoin is possible in this cycle. Actually, Bitcoin dominance forming a W bottom. I think Benjamin Cohen's prediction is going to be right. I think we're going to make our way back up to this trend line. This trend line is at 61%. See a final rotation into Bitcoin from alts very likely, and then capitulate in late October, November, and that's when we get real altcoin season. I think that's the likely outcome. What do you think about Cardano? Well, you guys know what I think about Cardano. I bought a bunch of Cardano on Saturday. Sadly, I bought and then it dumped. Classic. But as soon as we're able to break above this trend line, I think we're going to rock it. And I think that's going to happen sometime in October or November. I don't think I've seen any worse charts than DOT Bitcoin. Yeah, it's just DOT has not been innovating. They've not been doing anything. It's really sad. Look at this. It's horrible. DOT Bitcoin. It's literally went to zero. It's quite literally went to zero. It's insane. Bitcoin CME gap at 91.96. I know it's there. Doesn't mean we have to go there though. I think if Bitcoin now fell to 91.6, it would mark the beginning of, unfortunately, the bear market. So until the bear market begins, I don't see Bitcoin closing that CME gap. Just want to check the EME ribbons on the daily. What's it gonna do? Come on, EMA ribbon. Hey CK, are you still in your long position? If you want to see my positions, then I would recommend watching the start of the stream because I spoke about the positions there. But yes, I am. Any big ETF inflow or outflows? Yeah, sure, we can cover that. This EMA ribbon crossover doesn't look good. The last time we had a bearish EMA ribbon crossover was there. Not good. EMA ribbon crossover, EMA ribbon crossover. Not good. Let's have a look at the ETFs. farside.co.uk. ETF flows, Bitcoin. Today's price action will be reflected on Monday's ETF data. So we're going to have to wait until, unfortunately, Monday to see today's price action because they operate on a T+2 standard most commonly, meaning that we need to wait 2 business days. Remember, this is traditional finance until we can see the impact of today's price action on the ETFs. Yeah, ouch, lol, I know. Are you buying now? Well, some things I'm buying now. Ethereum I'm buying now. I opened a limits position on Ethereum at 3.9 like I said I would. Ethereum I'm buying, but it's just a DCA edition. And honestly, I am thinking of de-risking that one. Let's see, where is that one? This is 7x leverage. Yeah, I think I want to de-risk this a little bit. But the thing is, if I adjust leverage, it's going to adjust every leverage. How to go about this? Because if we go down to 3.3, I don't want this position to unnecessarily cause any massive losses. Okay, if we close at, what's the price now? 3869. And I close 25%. I'm going to cut the losses by 50% here. Yeah, okay, so I realized $100 of losses. That's fine. I just don't want to. So look, just to explain what I did there. So I've had positions open on Ethereum since 1.5, 1.6, 2.2, 3, 3.2. I think there's a good chance we could come down to 3.3. So I'm going to be buying there. It's just that I don't want to unnecessarily have this position that I opened as a DCA at 4.3 unnecessarily generates many losses, right? So that's why I wanted to just cut on those losses now before a potential drop to 3.3. And then I can DCA in, and then as soon as we reverse to the upside, we'll make those realized losses back. I hope that made sense. I'm 19 and just started trading. Today was not a good day, lol. It's fine, dude. Just it's gonna take you. I hate to say this, but it's gonna take you like 3 to 4 years of trading consistently before you become profitable. And some advice I'll give you is, in the bull market, in altcoin season, don't think that you're a genius, because you're not. I wasn't a genius. I'm still not a genius, but at least I have some experience now. The thing is, when you first start and you start into altcoin season and you make a lot of money, you think you know everything, and then you just, as soon as you start thinking that, that's when all the money you make goes away. That's a tip I would give you from my previous experience in the previous market. Please do TA on Aster. Look, I would do that. It's not really possible to do TA on Aster. It's been around for only, how many days now? 4 days? 5 days? Yeah, it's not really possible, guys. I'm sorry. I don't think I can do much. Yeah, there isn't enough price action to do TA on this. Uh, 3 to 4 years. Yep, it's gonna take some time. Nothing is easy. It takes hard work and dedication to become successful. Even trading. Plasma. What is this plasma thing? I have no idea what it is. Oh, wow. Damn. Looks very volatile. I think, okay. Hold on. What was the... this question. There it is. So do you think we'll break below 107 before claiming all-time high? It's a tough one to answer. Let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. Look, breaking below this blue box is horrible. And I don't want to comment on that until or if that happens. I think there's a good chance we're seeing a strong rebound, like I said, would be most likely the case. Let's see. I'll get back to that question, but I need some more data to answer. Yep, during bull market, Nick, shout out to Nick. Yep, during bull markets, it's important to remember the classic pattern: a rising tide lifts all boats. Not sure if I understood that. I would love if you could enlighten me, Nick. Okay, guys, I think I'll call it an evening. I'll be posting, obviously, I do videos every single day on this channel. So I'll give you guys an update tomorrow. So if you want to see that update, make sure to subscribe, destroy the like button for the algo. And yeah, I'll give you guys maybe 10 seconds if you're so kind to destroy the like button. I'll give you 10 seconds and then we can call it a day. Maybe I'll go through one more question in the meantime. Total versus total 2. If alts are structurally weaker, does a Bitcoin bounce even matter without total 2 reclaiming its broken trend? Yeah, that makes sense. I get what you mean. You're right. So for altcoins, the only thing to really look at, I think, is this chart, total 3. And take a look at this. I think we really have to surpass 1.2 trillion. As soon as we do that, I think we're going to rock it. But until then, no altcoin season. That's just my simple thought on it. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Don't worry so much. All will be fine. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for the likes, by the way. Oh, Nick, it basically means everything benefits at the same time, not to be confused with an edge. Yeah, I think that, I guess, makes sense to me. I don't know, guys. It's 11 p.m. my time, so I've been up since 8. So I apologize, Nick. I'm sure you're sharing something genius, but my brain is not really functioning now. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for 150 likes. Toma 10 Tire LP says, thank you so much for your emergency streams. Well, that's my job. So thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, take care, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.